Copy.
First one go out there. One and shot up the track about
Jamie
3 lanes.
McMurray, I'm Adam Alexander. Ready to roll with our first mile-and-a-half race of 2026, the first of 8 on the campaign this year, Parker.
Yep, most we've had in many years. So it's going to be interesting to see as we dive into some more mile-and-a-half racing. We've seen how good it's been in Cup, and it's great in the O'Reilly Series. This one in particular, incredibly high speed, over 190 miles an hour into turn 1. Your min speed in the corners on a qualifying lap somewhere in the high 170s. This place, you pull a ton of G's, it's super fast, and then the tires eventually start to give way, and it becomes about handling and finding that grip on the racetrack.
Well, we talk about the mile-and-a-half tracks. You see the numbers here and the drivers that really delivered in 2025. Those are the drivers running full-time this season, but when you look about the field, at the field for today's race, Jamie, I mean, it is star-studded. Some of the best coming out to race this afternoon.
Yeah, what about this guy right here, Kyle Larson? So good at this track, has 1 win in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, also stellar in the Cup Series. Parker and I were talking a little bit ago, just, you know, one of the greatest drivers in America right now. For these guys to get their shot to race against him, it's gonna be fun for them to watch what this guy can do in a car.
And it's so cliche to say, right, when we see these Cup drivers come down to the O'Reilly Series and we talk about, hey, you can learn something, whatever, but you better believe, if you're a full-time O'Reilly Series driver like a Jesse Love or an Austin Hill, when Kyle Larson comes down, there's a little motivation to beat him. You're going to learn something. You know that. You're going to see him do something that you think, man, yeah, he gets away with that because he's just dropping down for fun, going to go run a race. He doesn't have any points on his mind and that sort of thing, but you're also going to be able to see where he just is able to do things to that car, possibly the way he runs the wall, whatever it is, that's going to make you think, okay, that's the level I need to be. And if you can beat him, it's an incredible feeling.
30-55 was the quickest in the fall group 1.
And I think that's a great point, Parker. You talk about running the wall. I think we're going to see that today. It's going to be hot today. It's going to be 90 degrees. Last year we ran this race. It was in the 60s. It's already hotter in practice today than it was when we raced here last March. So you're going to see guys all over the racetrack, and Larson will be one of the first guys clearly to get to the top, get the track cleaned off, and have that momentum late in the run.
26, Dean Thompson, trying to get things moving in the right direction for Sam Hunt Racing. Difficult start for this Toyota group. So much anticipation coming into the year with Harrison Burton coming over, the successful rookie season for Thompson a year ago. Exactly one top 20 finish between the two drivers through 4 races this year.
It's been a disastrous start for Sam Hunt. I spoke to him last week about this, and you know, it's not like they haven't run 2 cars before, right? And so I don't think that's the big problem. I think they just came in with a lot of anticipation with how well they ran last year, especially Dean, having Harrison Burton come in, how well he ran at AM Racing last year, thinking, hey, you know, this is what our chance to take the next step forward. And you know, when you look at this first part of the season, we've talked about it, 2 drafting tracks, a road course, finally somewhat typical oval at Phoenix, but really has been, you know, those are places where it can go all wrong for you, and it definitely has for Sam Hunt. And maybe here today is the place they need to turn that around.
But I think a lot of that's just been circumstantial with those teams. They've been caught up in a lot of wrecks, and we talked about those first 3 races being 2 drafting tracks and then having that road course. Look, it can go. We've seen it on the Cup side. Reddick has home runned it at those tracks. The other side of that is what we've seen from Sam Hunt Racing, where things just have not went their way, and it's gotten them behind.
Well, and that's frustrating for a guy like Harrison Burton, who a year ago with a new team in AM Racing comes out with back-to-back top 10s. And as Jamie said, when you have those wild cards this year, it can kind of go in the other direction. Good run last week at Phoenix for Jeremy Clements. And kind of a new setup for him this year when you think about the alliance that they've developed with the Haas factory team. He's a guy that embraces all that is Las Vegas. Did you know, learned this week, that he actually did the jump off the stratosphere?
No way. No, 0 chance. Absolutely no chance I'm doing that. No.
That looks terrible to me.
Just terrible.
Celebrity sky jumpers. Look at that. Got his name on a little placard.
You know, I hung off a rope at Bristol off Colossus many years ago. They winched me up there. That was terrifying.
Many people wanted to cut that rope.
Yeah, I thought you were the first at the top.
I will say this, though. Jeremy Clements just does things different. He got engaged when he was skydiving. So jumping off the stratosphere, really not that big a deal. You know, if you're going to jump out of an airplane, off the stratosphere is like child play.
So he's an adrenaline junkie.
I guess so.
That's what I'm learning.
Aren't you all? I don't know.
And Adam, you talked about him having a good run last weekend. There was a point in the race on older tires that he might have been the best car, and we were all caught off guard a little bit by that. But that team had a tremendous amount of speed. They have this connection with Haas factory team right now. We know how well those cars are running. It's going to be a great year for them if they can get just a little bit of momentum on their side.
That's a really good-looking car, by the way. Just have to put it out there. We'll see the Alliance car with the Alliance was HFT.
It's all tied together. Mentioned Harrison Burton, Sam Hunt Racing. Here's the 24. You know, when you look at his career, and you see the numbers here, really good on mile-and-a-half tracks, especially back in 2020 when he was driving for Joe Gibbs Racing, and really that was served as his coming-out party. And when you think about Vegas, you think about his dad, Jeff, who was so successful here, a three-time winner in Sin City in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series.
And we saw that on the graphic there, that win at Texas. That's when he beat Noah Gregson in that final corner.
Incredible.
Awesome move. It was so cool. I remember watching that real time on pit lane and just thought that was really cool at that time for that racetrack. It was such an awkward groove, and he just he did a great job on the final lap, which was super cool. And I know he's very motivated to try and get back to victory lane. As we move to his cousin, they seem to find each other on the racetrack this year, by the way.
Yeah.
It's like they're always around each other.
I wouldn't say that's a this year thing.
Maybe that's
because universally they do. And hey, you talk about drivers that performed last week. We popped Jeremy Clements. Jeb Burton needed it, and he got it last Saturday at Phoenix. Was good in practice, backed it up in qualifying, and goes out top 10 finish and got stage points in the race.
And speaking of alliances, that's something that Jordan Anderson Racing did in the offseason. They got that alliance with Richard Schultes Racing, and last week we spoke to Jeb, and he was like, hey, before practice, I'm really curious. Like, have we learned something from that alliance? And sure enough, he was quick in practice. They had a good qualifying effort, and he was really good in the race. So that's got to be a really good feeling for Jordan Anderson Racing.
What about this guy right here, Ryan Sieg? We talked about that alliance with Haas Factory Team and Jeremy Clements. Ryan Sieg also having that same alliance, and as I look at the timing and scoring right now, those two are first and second, seem to have really good speed. He's looking to turn his season around as well, has that runner-up finish here back in 2024. Just need to get a little bit of momentum for both Clements and Sieg, and I think they're going to have a great year.
You look at Sieg here, last 4 races, he had the runner-up in the playoffs to Allmendinger. The other 3 finishes 7th place. 777 is good in Las Vegas.
That is good. This race last year had that transmission issue.
That's right.
Still had a ton of speed.
And came back for a top 10, which is impressive.
Almost
10 minutes into practice.
All right, 10-4. We'll check the splitter. Look, all the skirts look close, but we'll just look over everything here. And then we'll get the wheel fans on as soon as we get the air pressure. Looks like the only contact was that left front. Like the knife edge area? Okay. Done it all over there?
You down your outside right now. Blend up whenever you can.
I mean, I didn't think we were half bad there. Just got to fine tune a couple things on adjustments on my end.
Really just center once it's fully loaded, a little bit snug. I gotta wait to throttle. If I had to give it a number, I'd say like a 2 or 3 out of 10.
All right, let me just try a little wedge out.
Copy.
Trying out the pace for these guys out here. It would be good, and there's no big gap.
Restart zone now. If the 18 gets to us here, we'll watch this slow car in front of us. We'll take the one after the 18 at the start finish line.
let's plan on that one. The 28 is going to take this hole. We're going to go after the orange and white 18, 20 back. Full straightaway back to the next one once you clear. Big hole here. All yours. All yours. 54 is going to follow you out. 10 plus back. Watch for oil into 3 here. Be down low. Watch for oil. No yellow yet. Caution. Straight back to pit road. Caution. Good behind you. Get right back in line. Stay high around this car.
Yeah, I actually got happy as it went. You know, I think traffic got us kind of starting to build tight, but I feel like the last lap is pretty decent. Just a little bit on the snug side, but not bad. Really good over the bumps, secure entry and exit. Just that tight center is kind of delaying my
completely upset your lap. Here's what Brennan Poole said on the last run.
Copy that. Bring it to it. Bounce it bad over the bumps or just everything? I mean, I definitely could hear it pull out of the left. That'll probably bar it out anyways. But it feels like kind of, it's just wavy. Like, yeah, it's just rough through there. I mean, the bumps could be worse than last year, but I don't think I've ever gone through them and it's been that rough.
Yeah, I think
well, that's something we talk about often here. As we see Dawson Cram was smoking, so we've got a caution on the track, possibly some fluid, 3 and 4. But these bumps in 1 and 2, talk about it all, they've been here, I don't know, as long as I can remember. And you see the car bouncing right there, and then right as he gets right there, the bumps get worse, and it's, you see the car porpoising like that, sort of back and forth. Yeah,
Was that a wager that you had to get that in, or what?
That's a technical term in motorsports. It's called porpoising. And basically, what you do down in 1 and 2 is you can basically try to go below them where your right sides hit it, because the bumps effectively are like, if I draw here, are like around.
I think you're porpoising right
well,
there.
I'm porpoising a little bit, but basically, yeah, you can see where you can effectively, if you get to the white line, have be below the bumps, or you can run, you know, above them if you go to the next groove up, and it's kind of a choice you have to make. But where that line is basically no man's land. You don't want to be there, and we talk often about those bumps, trying to avoid them, trying to make the car get through them. And I've found, and I think a lot of people, is you're not going to make the car great through there, and then also great in 3 and 4, so you might as well just try to get below it. But that is a lot. That is a lot of movement. They're going to have to look at that and figure out why that car is bouncing so much.
The give and take in the setup. And then the other thing that I would think about too is lane selection on restarts, right? And where do you want to be to manage all of that? Just over half the cars have been out in practice. Kyle Larson, not one of them, but he's ready to go.
Gives me a push all the way to the exit to the wall.
Does it feel like when you hit the bumps of 1 and 2, does it feel like it gets tight when the fronts hit the bumps, or more when the back of the car hits the bumps and kind of loads up the rear more?
I'd say it's more in the front. It's really not that bad, just rough down there. But I don't think it's affecting me a ton down there, so I'm actually probably tighter in 3 and 4.
Yeah, I think we're going to do the change that Cody talked to you about with just the left rear, which should be able to give you more throttle time to keep it ramping the bottom down there. I think the bump tightness is probably the splitter really close to the ground. It'll probably choke the air off when you hit that across the bump, so as the pressure builds, it's probably going to get a little bit better there. But he's going to do something in the left rear. It shouldn't affect your entry like a 1, but hopefully the center off is going to be like a 2.5, 3.
Gotcha. How were those lap times? I know the first few were as quick as the 27, but as far as when we fell off those last 5, what do we need to be running?
I think we need about 2 or 3 more tenths to be really good. I think it's consistent pace there, so we'll just keep trying to get you more. The 27 was a little bit quicker at the start, so I think if we can find 2 or 3 tenths of long range speed, you'll be able to carry that to the start of the run.
Yeah, no, copy, I agree. Just being comfortable through those first lap or 2 as well, so I think it's decent right there.
Appliance from lane 1, and then there's 1 on lane 2, the first 2 hash marks. But it's 5 car lengths long, you got to the apron after that. In the 30-second bracket.
Oh, yeah, I mean, if we don't run down into the 30.5 to 60 right here, we're probably going to have to work on it quite a bit. No,
does not appear that any of them were boxing as doing 25.
And now it's 205.
So that's one that's going home right there. Got to be two right now.
Because of some fluid on track. So let's hear from drivers on the biggest gamble they've ever.
Oh, the biggest gamble.
That's a very loaded question.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever gotten the chance to really gamble in Vegas. I just turned 21.
Yeah, I'm not old enough to gamble, but I think the biggest gamble I've taken in my life is, I think, taking this deal with Hendrick Motorsports, moving across the country and starting a whole new life at 19 years old.
That's a great question. I think maybe blocking Kyle Busch to win at Daytona.
Busch goes low! Ben blocks! Jeff, your little boy, has done it!
Well, I've jumped out of a plane. That's pretty, I mean, I would think that's pretty risky. I've jumped off the stratosphere in Vegas multiple times, which I love, and I would suggest doing it if you're not scared.
A few years back when I was running in the truck series, went bottom of 3 wide getting into turn 1, not thinking it was going to work. I got lucky and fortunate enough that the two guys on my outside kind of got together. That cleared me the lead and was able to get the win. So we took the gamble and it paid off.
I'm gonna find an empty baccarat table and have at it when I get there, and we'll see how we go. And I'm either gonna use up all my bad luck, or I'm gonna get the good luck rolling before the race.
It's great that Love is 21 now.
Yeah.
I mean, just celebrated his 21st birthday a couple of months ago. So now he can partake when he goes to Vegas.
I benching baccarat. You know, it's been kind of a trend. I was playing with a Tart and a couple other
Keep
drivers.
working on it. We'll get it right.
Is that a name drop?
I learned it. Yeah, well, he's my sensei when it comes to that sort of thing. He's a numbers guy. And it turned out to be a fruitful endeavor. So I hope Jesse has the same luck.
You guys good to roll?
Good to roll.
Now we're really going to take a gamble. And we're going to go to Dylan Welsh. What's up, Dylan?
Wow. I expected you to have a little more faith in me, Adam.
You got about 10 of them lined up down there.
10-4.
Cool.
We'll definitely get a time increase here, or I imagine we will. We usually do when stuff like this happens. So you'll have plenty of time. Just get a good run in, feel it out. If you really like it, it's really comfortable, just run it. So you want to come back in if you want to make any changes. Yeah, I was definitely going to run a couple here and kind of see a little bit of fall
Chase this week, a Cup veteran, and he's had a lot of success in this series. So getting to kind of listen to his feedback and what he has to say and where he feels like, you know, we need to be better as a group, and you know where I'm lacking and all that stuff. So getting to kind of shadow him this weekend is going to be fun. I wish I was in the car, but just going to try to be a sponge this week and learn as much as I can.
A great opportunity to do so. Brent Cruz, as we said, watching over the 19 this week before he gets back in a few weeks to fill out the year.
You know, some ideas of where he feels like maybe they need to be better at. So that'll be big to have him and whoever they choose to put in there next weekend.
Why are you laughing?
Well, because I think we all know who it is. But I'm with Dylan. I didn't want to spill the beans either.
I think it's interesting, you know, for Joe Gibbs Racing to have this uncharacteristically bad start in some respects in terms of results, right? They've shown speed. Obviously won the pole last week with Taylor Gray at Phoenix, but you know, Joe Gibbs Racing, dominant cars in this series, no matter where you go. Maybe you'd say the super speedways or the drafting tracks have been their sort of weakness in some respects, but they found speed a couple years ago at those places. So, yeah, they've got a little work to do to catch JRM and RCR.
Their best run of the year was for Brent Cruz.
I was waiting for you to give me the stat. I didn't want to steal your stat.
Americas. Hey, it's all out there. Take them whatever you like.
It's your stat.
Gibbs has one here 5 times, so you got to believe there'll be a real player.
They got good chance
today.
Good odds.
That's probably just how bad my bumps were, I guess, that I thought it was hitting that bad. I mean, because even when it clearanced or like got off of it, they were still pretty bad. So it probably doesn't take much contact to make it worse. So if we can fix the ride, we could probably be more aggressive with the travel there, maybe.
Yep, that's where my head's at. So I'm going to try to fix the ride in these next couple runs here.
4.
You blew it all off. Bunch of them followed off of pit road, but they're about 50 back. I'd fire with him. They're firing in front of him, so I'd go right with him. Nice and smooth here. Find you can, and he'll send you when he gets a nice clean hole.
Middle 1 and 2, good up, bud.
Dirty, getting into 3. Same thing though, when you get up to speed lap, don't go any higher than that second set of half mark. Copy.
Good shape. 5-4. It's the 25. We'll roll away from him.
Thanks, 5 minutes, Jody. 10-4. Copy that. Yep. 2, 1, inside, myself. Come back after. No. Cars just now, middle of 1 and 2. A lot of room to drag back and get air. Slow car off behind you. Half straight away. The track, just a touch. Landing into 1, I'd say it might have been on the splitter. It recovered well, though.
The spotters, they were impressed.
His life depended on saving that thing. That was awesome.
It happened. He about lost it. Like 4 times. What happened? Super truck, so the truck put the oil dry in it. Came up on the banking of the quarter mile and went sideways and just saved it all the way to the next part of the quarter mile.
Landing.
I couldn't tell if it was intentional or not.
I think he was just trying to get it done. You know, the NASCAR team there tries to get these things cleaned up as quickly as possible. We say leave the racing on the racetrack. Well, he was on a racetrack. Maybe we leave it to the drivers in race cars. But that was an impressive save. He's got some skills. There's a team looking for somebody that's got some obvious car control. Take a look at that safety truck.
I don't think that spotter's description was near as good as the video that we saw. He wasn't as excited as we were.
You know, all these heavy hitters were waiting to go out. Then we had the delay with the fuel and the clean, or the fluid that was on track and the cleanup. But now they're all going out there, only going to have, you know, just over 30 minutes of practice time, which is plenty, with 1 set of tires. But it's going to be fun to watch where they cycle and who's got what. And right now, of the most recent drivers to go out, Jesse Love, the best of the bunch, he jumps up to 4th on the board.
Yeah, and some of that was that you have a green racetrack here, and this place has a tremendous amount of grip with green like that. It can also be dusty, which doesn't give you a good representation of what your car really is going to handle like in the race. And you can see how the rubber is laid down on this track already, just from the cars we've had out there, and that's more representative of what you'll experience. And this racetrack, the amount of fall off you can see here, especially on a hot day like we're having today, like Jamie referenced earlier, it can be immense, and that rubber lays in the racetrack, and this place becomes greasy and low grip, and so it just goes through a lot of changes, and these teams electing to just say, hey, we're going to wait till the track is more representative of what we're actually going to experience.
Well, part of the reason you wait also is, as Parker referenced there, is that when it's green, it has a lot of grip, and when it has all that grip, that masks the issues that your car has. So if your balance is too tight when you pull out and it has a lot of grip, it just you can still run a great lap time, even with the balance not being perfect. So I like the fact that a lot of these guys waited. The sand that's on the racetrack from the wind blowing here, getting on there, it gives you a more real, you know, situation of what you're going to have in the race. And a lot of these guys aren't worried about posting that single lap time. They want to get a good balance on their car.
Justin Allgaier trying to double down today, not just with what he did a week ago in Phoenix, make it 2 in a row this season, but 2 in a row in the springtime here at Las Vegas. This has been, even though that was his first win here, this has been an incredible track for the man that won the championship in 2024.
A ton of top 2 finishes before that, and he just was clearly the best car last year in this race. And one of the things that was so obvious was how disciplined he was with getting that left front to the white line, like you're seeing right there. Even when he was fighting Eric Almo at the end of stage 2 in that race, chose to just stick to the bottom and being disciplined and getting that car to rotate down there. It's something that's just sort of become the predominant line in the last couple of years. I think back to Austin Hill in 2023, winning here in the spring race and doing that exact thing, and it really forced everyone to think that you had to drive this track that way. I'm curious today. We've got a guy like Kyle Larson who's amazing at running the wall. The wall can be a crutch. You'll find speed up there, but it can really hurt the right front tire. If there hasn't been rubber laid down there, it can destroy your tires quickly, but could this change with the heat today? And we see the wall come in and be far more impactful than it has been in the last couple of years.
This is a wet 55.
For all
really good, bro. Really good here.
For Allgaier's momentum, for Jesse Love, maybe motivation, because I think on 2 different fronts here, Jamie. Number one, last week he was second, highly disappointed after winning a stage and leading over 100 laps. But I would say the other part of that motivation comes from the field that he's going to be racing against. And for a young driver that wants to go to grow, if he can go out today and beat guys like Larson and Briscoe, it's got to do a ton for his confidence.
Oh, those are feel-good days. And when you're an O'Reilly Auto Parts Series regular, anytime the Cup guys come back and want to race with you, I mean, yes, you want to be able to beat them. And the fact that you've got, one of the best in Kyle Larson doing it at one of his best tracks, for sure. And the 2-car, when you look at what they were able to do last time we were at this track, super fast, led a lot of laps, really quick car, was in contention most of the night. And then what they were able to do last weekend, Stockman referenced this the last few times we've talked to him, just that they're going to continue to get better just because of their working relationship. And he and Jesse are on the same page, and they're producing good results, great speed. And you just heard him come on the radio and say good lap. He said a 51. He was referencing a 30:51. That's the lap time that they were at, and the lap times are falling off really fast here today. This is going to be a good race today in managing tires and trying to find grip on the track.
Austin Green third quick right now, driving the 87. Raced here last fall.
So it went a little high. You see the dust coming out the rear of the race car. That's because it hasn't been cleaned off. There's no one running up there. And turns 1 and 2 is awkward in how you run the high side. You actually dime in that corner. You won't enter right on the wall. You shade lower and then kind of go up as you get to the center of the track. But when it's dirty and dusty like that, very little grip. Let's take a listen to his radio.
You're clear. Now he's back in front.
Did you get off the splitter whenever you air pressure build up? No, I mean, it kind of mitigated it a little bit, but we were still on it pretty good. And it's like I hit it, and it just bounces the nose, and it's depending on, where I'm at, throttle, steering, whatever. It'll either snap loose, and then the more I ran, it would just bounce and plow.
Well, that's the second driver we've heard talk about the splitter being on the ground and the bumps feeling worse. So I'm going to guess that we're going to hear that from a lot more guys today of the bumps. I would tell you that when you get high like we saw with him and that dust coming out from the back of his car, that makes your booty pucker is what happens inside of the car. You're just kind of hanging on and hoping you can get back to the pits to make an adjustment.
I didn't have porpoising as a word that we would use, and I didn't have booty pucker as a phrase that would make its way into practice this morning.
You never know on these practice qualifying shows.
Hey, we were talking earlier about Joe Gibbs Racing. We know how successful Jason Ratcliffe has been as a crew chief and leading Taylor Gray. They won the pole last week at Phoenix, finished 15th, involved in that crash late. One top 10 for them in 2026. And we rewind to last week and what went wrong late in the race. Just kind of wrong place, wrong time for driver 54. And this incident actually collected 3 cars from Joe Gibbs Racing.
Absolute disaster of a corner for Joe Gibbs Racing. To see 3 of their cars crunched together like that under that circumstance just adds to their continual bad start that they've had this year. But we'll see. This could be the place they turn around, Dylan.
Well, and just to kind of continue that theme of the Joe Gibbs Racing's maybe struggles to start this year, Jason Ratcliffe, the crew chief on this car, and I talked about that this morning. And he said, you know, even though they got caught up in that wreck in Phoenix, said the good news is from a platform and balance standpoint, we feel like we know where we need to improve, not only at Phoenix last week, but also even at Circuit of the Americas on the road course a couple weeks ago. He said that's better at least than going to the shop midweek and not knowing, kind of scratching your head why maybe you've struggled for speed. So he said, feel like we've got a good direction of where we need to go, but he also reiterated what you guys talked about, that lack of a true veteran presence in this car or in these cars consistently. Speaking of Eric Almirola last year, has been a noticeable absence that these guys have all felt. So they're excited for the next couple weeks. This week starting with Briscoe in the car, a good opportunity just for all of Joe Gibbs Racing to evaluate exactly where the program's at.
But it's very manageable on entry. It's not important to hit the line yet either.
This weekend's practice reminds me a little bit of what we had last week. And what I mean by that is last weekend we had IndyCar rubber down. You know, some teams went out early, others waited. We didn't know where the grip levels were. And so you looked at the practice sheet and you're like, I'm not sure who actually has the best car. And I look at today, a lot of guys went out early, some waited. We had the fluid on the track, and that changed things. And so these guys go out later, and it's a little hard to evaluate who's where, and I'm sure that we'll find out once we get to qualify a little bit of who's got the best car, but practice has been a tough thing to evaluate.
Pulling away big, all good.
So you hear the spotter right there referencing the chase, whoever's behind him, that he's able to get away from the car that's behind him on the racetrack. And
Green lap right there.
He's chasing the gray, is what you'd call that. If you watch as he drives into the corner, you're going to see he's going to run through kind of a darker section of the racetrack, and then just above it, it's going to be, he ran a little lower there, got loose. Yeah, if you watch as he goes into one, though, he's been running kind of the middle, and if you look just above where the right side of his car is, it's going to be a little bit lighter colored, and that's where the grip is. You know, you also can get above the bumps right here if you run just a little bit higher. That balance is really loose right now. I think he's just trying to get a read on where it's going to go as you run a bunch of laps. It's about a second after 10 laps, what I've seen on the lap times. And I'll tell you, a couple of guys to keep an eye on. Ryan C. looks pretty quick to me. Cole Custer looks really good to me on the longer run. There's a few of these guys that have run good initial laps, but also hanging on well.
Yeah, Jamie, one of the things you got to look at here is when he's had those moments, it's just sub 170 miles per hour to the middle of the corner. And I love this entry into 3. Watch this wide arc. There's a tap of the brake to settle the nose, to try and direct it towards that white line. And how you time all that and then getting back to the throttle here, and he's just walking the right rear all the way to the wall. That's what makes this place so tough as the tires fall off. You've got to keep up that entry speed, but you've got to time and utilize the brake to just position the car where you need it and settle the front end to be able to then get the car to rotate in the bottom and get back to throttle. It's such a balance around here. When he's running 1 and 2 in that middle groove, that's where you're hearing the bumps. The left side is hitting those bumps. Your right side isn't. So that just unsettles the car, and now he's going to try to top a little bit. But that's a great visual example of what makes this place just feel like you're so on edge all the time.
You look at the bumper, and we've got the 15-lap average in. Jamie referenced who's good on the long haul, and this gives you a little bit of a snapshot. Now, not everybody has done the 15 consecutive laps, so there might be someone that pops into this category later in the session, but right now, Jesse Love, Sam Mayer, Gray, Allgaier, Quapple, some of the usual suspects are up there inside the top 5. And here's Connor Zillett, 6th on the 15-lap average, making his second start of 2026 later today, Kim.
Yeah, we talked about some of the drivers on the splitter. Connor, one of those drivers, and he just keeps complaining about how tight the car is. He said, in fact, it's 5 numbers tight. Would describe it as plowing. Just came on again and said, I am just so tight. I don't know how much the track is going to change, but I am 7 numbers now tight, so they're going to have to work on that machine. And it was interesting talking with Connor in the garage this morning, and I mentioned the Cup presence in this series this afternoon and that he was part of it now, and he said, it's weird, for whatever reason, I don't really consider myself you know, part of that Cup brigade, I still really identify with the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series garage, and so it's weird to think of myself as one of the Cup guys coming into this series.
You know, it's kind of funny too, Kim, because you look at his stat line on mile and a halves, 3 runner-ups for Zilich. This is one of the few types of tracks where he's not been able to win at this level, so you know that's something he wants to deliver on. Really good at Vegas a season ago when he was driving this car. In fact, you look at Junior Motorsports, they won 3 of the 6 mile-and-a-half races in 2025, 2 for Allgaier, 1 for Larson when he was filling in for Zilich at Texas driving the 88, and here he is in practice.
I'm a little bit surprised by the lack of pace from the JRM cars. They were so good here. Both races, I mean, they've been good at every racetrack, but here, both races last year, really good. But I don't see much speed, and I'm hearing a lot of complaining from all of those drivers. A little surprised to see the lack of speed in all of them.
Yeah, Jamie, they almost look slightly pedestrian. They don't stick out in any way right now. I don't see any sort of hero lap times as they go further in these runs. Let's take a look back at Larson winning 2018.
Jamie's teammate.
Yeah.
2, 1. Now 6 red, bumping 7.
Nice.
Ironically, Allgaier, the guy giving him the push, right?
Imagine Allgaier being in the middle of it in a race in Vegas.
Is there an O'Reilly Series replay he's not involved in?
Larson won that race, and Parker, I think you referenced it earlier, the Cup success for Larson here at Las Vegas. 3 wins, driving for Hendrick Motorsports, and the reigning Cup Series champion. Is really good at this place.
Good all the way back now.
Hooking that bottom line right there. That looks nice at least.
Clement C. Green.
The pass. Center 1. Coming outside here. 2 of them. Then a 20 gap. Coming outside, all clear.
What did you feel that made it feel broken? And then after you're done, Frank, tell me what you saw.
I mean, just right rear. I didn't really feel like it was losing air, but like I had no right rear. I don't know, like chassis support or something. It just, well, it was soft and just trying to spin it.
Yeah, like it looked like we had a tire going down in the back. Like it was all of a sudden no lateral. Like he tried to just get up to speed 3 and 4. Top lane like he's been doing and about wrecked it.
Kyle, put those rounds back in the left rear that you took out. Let's see if that's what it was. Felt it was in the rear, though?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll check everything over, and I'm going to put my rear adjustment back.
4 or 5 numbers here. Okay. How was the pace?
Pace is really good. The 9 cars, only one pacing with you, I think, right now. But if you're tight, I think that your pace will get much better.
Yeah.
And a 42, similar lap tires, similar refire.
All right, coming to you. That was better, for sure. A step in the right direction. I think the track's changing a lot here. But I'm still tight center off. Entry was okay. Still like a 2 or 3 out of 10 tight center off. I can rep the bottom, but I just got to be patient with it, and it's not fast.
I like to race the track bar, but we can't. So let's put 1 round in the right rear.
Keep up with the rear, if that makes sense.
Yes.
All right, pit this time. You got the room out back.
10-4 coming this time by.
They're great.
Let's go. Next behind, you're going to have to be in the restart zone. You're good. Just keep it on the apron until you get off for 2. Here's your 39. Sanchez into 1. You're good here.
Clear when it breaks. Clear when it breaks. All right, nothing off the back, whatever you need here.
All good. By 5 back to the 30 here, you're better than. You win at 96 there, Allgaier win at 73. Need about 2 tenths to be the best for this many laps. Repeat what you said down the front. We talked over each other a couple laps ago.
So, overall lap time's not going to show it, but still, I don't think it's too bad.
Yeah, it's a 4. Roll when you get there. 1 at the line now, the 32, I'd like to get behind him. Roll hard. One higher, 3 to him. Now 1, he's second lane. 1, half. Rolling outside, he's there. Just quarter, store, even by himself.
240 water. I'm a little free into turn 3, tight in the center, and then I would say tight off the corner. It got better as I ran.
Copy that. We can make another change and hit it again if you want.
I need the right front to cut more in the center of 1 and 2 and exit of 4.
Copy that.
He's probably in the second lane, but there's still a bunch down there.
Copy.
We're good gap out back here now. Get him a little distance and roll hard.
He's still pretty decent. Hole's pretty big. He pitted, so it's now after 35, start rolling. 35, next one, restart zone now. Line is a 32.
4 lap pressure tires in us. Just for note.
All the way at the top, like, I mean, it still has kind of the same thing, like, it drives really good up there. It's just, I don't know what lane's faster right now.
Pretty good about it in 3 and 4. I just was moving up to try some.
Sure, he beat himself up over that, but I think he has done an exceptional job this year, being in multiple different cars, different crew chiefs, having to work all that. He has scored points in every stage this year. I think he's done a great job. He's learned a lot since last year, and if I think back to this race 1 year ago, he had never been here before. He comes here.
Too much shape.
Second practice, qualifies.
Too high, where those guys just really focus on getting to the white line,
But
wrapping it tight.
for his second year, he's headed in the right direction.
You know, Dale Jr.'s a TV guy, right? Do you think there's a conspiracy theory here that he just wanted to mess with us and move all his drivers and cars around and just make it as confusing as possible for us?
Well, and this paint scheme is wild.
This is wild. Yeah, those are wild chips.
Wild chips. There you go. I like it, though, that bright orange.
He's able to run the shape you were in 1 and 2 and get it to the bottom.
See those numbers there, and they really don't tell the story for Quapple, who, as Jamie pointed out, has scored stage points in every stage this year. 52 overall and comes in 4th in the
The groove is migrated to the high side of lane 2 after laps on tires.
Quapple's actually run 35 laps. That's
31.70.
It's about as many as I've seen anybody run out there. The pace fall off is something else. I mean, it's up to second and a half over 30 laps, maybe almost 2 seconds for some of these guys. So it's going to be fun to watch. You know, in the race today, if we get a green flag stop, the cycle, when you pit, when you don't, knowing, you know, how much fall off there is. Let's hear what Jeremy has to say.
like you just lost grip all the way around, or was it more so in the front end?
Definitely tire there, whether it's in and out or the track getting hotter and less grip, more rubber.
We're going to wait about 5 minutes here and then do like a 10-lap run here with as hot as we can get it. The ambient temp's coming up like a degree a minute. It's getting hot.
And there's two things that they can do there. One is kind of take a break in this 15-minute session. They were one of the first cars out there. That's why he's got P1 on the board when the track was the grippiest. Let some more rubber get laid down, let the heat come up, as you heard them say. And also, you know, cycles on tires kind of can skew your feeling in the car and what you're understanding as the tires go through those heat cycles. So cooling them down, doing one more run that they're on right now. And, you know, they'll look at those lap times and have to kind of give themselves sort of a delta for that heat cycle compared to some that maybe just went out there and ran 29 straight laps or 25 straight laps. When you have those heat cycles, it can kind of skew your results. So right now, as he turns these laps, they're a little bit off from what I'm seeing in similar laps, but remember, he had some heat cycles on it.
Most laps turned in the session. Patrick Starr, 41 for him, 30 for Clements. He's the best so far in a single lap in practice in front of Ryan C.
Roll easy here. Start finish will be the 17. Drag it just a little bit. There he comes outside. You got a half a straightaway here. All good, brother. That's fine. Okay.
Alright, we're going to pull this choke. You can go do your hot entry and exit.
Yeah, we got a little work to do on it, but we'll be close.
Yeah. I'll stay up here for qualifying.
Landing to middle speed, trying to keep it on the line, and just, it's like the left front's just working its ass off and the right front's plowing through it. Alright, 10-4, yeah, let's go ahead and back it down here. Should be good to the apron off of 2, take care of it coming in. Bye, in 3, 2, 1, 2 cars entered 1. Clear. 2, still up to speed, been out there a while, you 15 back, you're clear, clear.
Yeah, I'm not worried about fuel right now. I want to keep with where we're at on the tires. Yeah, we'll stay with where we're at.
Definitely look tied up off of 4.
2 back here. You're clear, still clear by 20. All you got right here. You guys have been using the wall in the middle. They've been all over the racetrack. Come out of green.
Just over 5 minutes of practice remaining for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Dylan Welsh, Kim Kuhn hanging out down the pit lane. I'm Adam Alexander, Corey Day in the 17. 13th quick right now. Got a top 5 run here last fall. This has been a good track for him. Got a pole position here driving in the Truck Series a couple of years ago, and he's got a busy weekend. Racing the dirt car, racing his O'Reilly car. Let's go to Thursday night when he went toe-to-toe with his mentor. The white 57 is Kyle Larson, and these two getting after it. Larson got the best of him on Thursday on the dirt.
Well, it was about 1 lap from being the other way. He was on the move at the end of that.
And look at Owen, who's sporting the Corey Day hoodie. You think Kyle bought that for him? I don't know that he would allow that. So Friday night, I mean, here it is, Jamie. Day gets his revenge. He comes back and takes the checkers last night.
Yeah, I think Larson actually spun out early on in the race last night. But Corey Day has done an awesome job. Obviously, that's his home, where he's like his comfort factor, being on the dirt in the sprint cars. But this is a really good track for him, Adam. 4th year. Last time we raced here, and if you look at his results, I know there's been a little controversy about how he's gotten those results, but he's done an awesome job and continues to get better. And he told me, that he was most comfortable on these mile-and-a-half type racetracks, and I've watched him throughout this practice. You see right there, as low as he can get, left front almost on the apron, and 5 laps ago he was running against the wall. So I think this type of a track really suits his style.
He does remind me of his mentor there a little bit. When we talk to him, the way he's sort of going about this, calm, just sort of taking it day by day. Pardon the pun on that one. But I think the big thing is that I see when I watch those videos of the sprint car racing is just how much those cars are moving around, how they're jumping around, they're bouncing, all those things. And I then look at this and I think, yeah, that's probably a good preparation for this sort of style of racing. And it's just something about it. If you can be really good in those and driving off the right rear and how much dynamic movement there is as you see him go to the wall right here, like that feel that he's going to have with the right rear of this number 17 car is, ingrained in you from what you're feeling from those sprint cars.
But what I like is that he knows how to run the wall. So many guys come over to NASCAR style racing and they'll enter 3 car lengths off the wall and then wash up to the middle. In order to really be good, you have to enter right on the wall and commit to it all the way around. And as I watch him, he knows what to do there, and his lap times still a little bit better around the bottom, but you see entering high like that, he's been able to produce pretty good times around the top.
And that's how you enter high at a dirt track, right? Put it on the cushion. You got to get to it right away, put it on the right rear, and work it all the way around. As we look at 99, Retzloff off of 4. Well, hang on. Yep. So that doesn't quite look like a sprint car, but I can tell you when we showed you the speeds earlier, over probably 170 miles an hour at that moment, approaching 180 fully in the throttle.
It looked pedestrian there, but behind the wheel it's not, right?
He did not feel the same way. That's when he got out there and he said, man, did you see that slide? They're like, yeah, it looked all right.
What was that pucker thing that Jamie referenced earlier?
Butt pucker.
Yeah, I was going to let you say it.
That's Jamie's.
Hey, what about Retzloff, though, in Viking? When you look at their results here in 2026, he has that runner-up finish, which is the best for Viking at Atlanta. Then last weekend, Alfredo goes out, qualifies 4th. That's their best ever qualifying run, and he paid it off with a top 10. And Retzloff, after 4 races, been to a lot of different types of racetracks and seen a lot here this year, and he's up there top 10 in points, which is very impressive for the driver from Wisconsin. And here's Raja Caruth in the 32. Top 10 every week for that car with 3 different drivers.
Massively impressive.
Yeah, he's done an awesome job all year long. He's another one that I don't know what the expectation was for him, the fact that he had to go to all these different teams, but I think that he has done an exceptional job. It's not just what he does on the track, but when he gets out and he does the interviews afterwards, like he just does everything that you want from a driver.
And on this car, it says Cars Are Pain, but it's Donut on the side, Donut Media, one of the largest car YouTube channels in the last 10 years. Absolutely incredible channel that made insane car content over the years. Very cool to see them sponsoring this car. Cars can be pain, by the way, Adam, especially when they're not working for you.
That's right. His working okay. 14th quick right now is Raja Caruth. Here's Kim.
Yeah, Connor Zilic behind the 1 car this afternoon. I know it was plowing tight in practice, so how productive were the laps that you made out there?
Yeah, I mean, we ran 24 laps or so. The balance wasn't getting any better, and I wasn't learning much more. So I've been really fast at Vegas, every time we've been here. So I feel good about our Carolina Carport Chevrolet, and that Rodney's going to make the right decisions to get us where we need to be. But these JRM cars always seem to have speed, so I'm not too worried about it.
Connor, top 10 in both Vegas races last year, including a runner-up finish.
I sense a little bit of worry there, guys. We pointed out the lack of speed, and that's what you do if you're a driver. You're like, well, they'll figure it out. They'll figure it out when you put the next set of tires on. Hopeful optimism right there.
You wouldn't bring up that you've been very fast in the past if you felt like you were really fast right now.
You're trying to convince yourself real quick in that interview that it's all going to be okay.
If not Junior Motorsports, who, right? I mean, you think about it, they've been so good, you just are accustomed to the fact that they're going to be up there. And we mentioned, Joe Gibbs Racing hasn't been exactly where they want to be to start the year. So it's going to be interesting to watch how it all unfolds. Maybe today is Jesse Love and RCR is able to take the reins. Saw a quick flash of Daniel Dye running in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series again this week before the trucks return Friday at Darlington. And as we wind out practice, we finish with last week's pole winner, Taylor Gray, 5th on the board here in the session.
Interesting enough, I didn't see anyone do a green flag pit stop. We'll see if Taylor does it here. Yeah, he's going to do one right here.
Right on cue.
Yeah, knowing that you're going to have one of those, most likely in that final stage later today. And this is one of the hardest pit roads to get on, not miss. A lot of speeding penalties here, so that's great to go out and knock that out at the end of practice.
And those speeding penalties, you saw that curve on pit road, you can get tricked by that. Make sure you're to the outside. That curve can throw you for a big loop on pit road.
62 speeding penalties here since 2019, the most.
Don't shortcut it.
Of any track in that span. Practice is done. Jeremy Clemens.
When I ran that 40, I had a lift, so I thought I was going to fence it. So, I mean, you think with that trend, if we go back to what it was, where it was just a little free, then once it trends tight with the tires, that might help mitigate that. I copy that. But overall, though, I thought it was pretty comfortable. It was just those two little things.
Official. All right, Spencer, go ahead.
Spencer, stop.
There. They're about a foot wide. They're gray.
We're going to go out 6 here. So P6 here to go. Don't let LeVar get very far because he's going to need to be in the car when we're pushing. Like blow the track off.
Yeah.
I'm going to hand the headset to Austin so he can talk to you.
Copy.
Busy day for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series here at Las Vegas. NASCAR Countdown Live comes on the air 5 o'clock Eastern Time on CW. Practice is done. And with qualifying on deck, here are the top 10 in the first session of the day.
Right, Jeremy Clemens led it. He went out early when the track was green. There was a ton of grip, and we kind of see that throughout this leaderboard. If we look here, Austin Green up there. Now, some of these drivers and teams showed some good long-run pace. Others fell off pretty hard. And then if when we go deeper in the field, we see names like Larson and Custer and Allgaier, who were
around like the 31 and the 5.
180 miles per hour, nothing, Dylan, when you've jumped off the stratosphere.
Yeah, that's right. We were talking, Jeremy, about we showed this video of you jumping off the stratosphere earlier, so you know it's no big deal. We had 9 a.m. going 180 mile an hour here. Well, hey, fastest in practice. You ran that lap early, and you just said the track has changed a lot. Temperatures getting warmer and everything else that's going on the racetrack. So, how confident are you in your race car that you're going to have what you need to qualify and even race it later today?
Boy, it has changed a lot. I mean, since we started to now, I mean, we went out. Track had a ton of grip. I was nearly about wide open. And boy, that Lions Driveway Solution Chevy had some speed and grip, and that was fun. But yeah, just working on the race run, trying to run all over the track, see what we got. We got too tight there for sure, but Matt and the boys are making some great changes, so I'm very excited to have a shot today, and it sure is fun to drive some fast Chevys, man. So I'm looking forward to the race, seeing what we can do, and hopefully wind up front today.
Yeah, 2 good weeks in a row for the 51 group. Fast last week in Phoenix and strong here again in Vegas. Kim?
All right, we're going to catch up with a pair of Hendrick Motorsports drivers. Kyle, where are you going? All right, so we have this photo that we want to show you guys from Victory Lane on Thursday night. By the way, congratulations to both of you on your high limits wins. But the real question is, who bought Owen the Corey Day sweatshirt.
Yeah, you don't want
I hope they gave it to him
blow
for
right
free.
front here. You're not to that level.
That was a gift from you?
Yeah, it's always cool, right? Owen's grown up racing and has watched his dad forever. So yeah, it's super cool that he's a fan.
How neat is it though to have Kyle in the race this afternoon and just to bounce ideas off of him?
Yeah, it's huge, right? You know, this is my second time here. And he's done a lot more than I have, obviously. So yeah, he can just relate things to me in a better way than some of my other teammates at Hendrick Motorsports that have never ran a dirt car or anything, or never felt things the way that him and I feel things. So yeah, it's super helpful.
Are you giving him your whole notebook, or are you holding it back a little bit?
No, I'll give him whatever he needs. So yeah, I mean, I think you always want to see your teammates do well, even the JRM guys. You know, I'm an open book as always. So yeah, my car felt pretty good. I was just a little bit tight. Talking to him, he sounds really tight. So yeah, Vegas is just once your balance, especially in these, I feel like once your balance goes a certain direction, it just continues that way. So yeah, trying to find the happy spot early in the run, I think pays off. But yeah, we'll see. I don't really know what to expect in qualifying here. That's what I'm more skeptical of, but just kind of try to get a smooth lap in and start the race wherever we end up and go race.
If you think you're seeing double, you are.
Yeah, well,
it's all HendrickCars.com all the time.
Right. Yep.
Nice little rivalry going on the dirt. We'll see how they handle qualifying
during the race.
We'll do that.
On the wall like you were last year, and you have that little bit of freeness like you were talking about, and you're not tight off, man, when you get even more side force packed on the side of that thing, you're going to be even faster. So the big thing is just not getting too tight up off. If you can avoid that, I think you'll have a really stellar day. Yeah, and that's the only reason I had to run the fence last year is because we were just plowing tight. That was the only place I could go. But I did like at the end of that run, I could run the bottom, I could run the middle, and still rotate good. I did kind of try the top a little bit. I don't know if I just overcharged the corner, but I mean, I was plowing if I was third lane. Yeah, not many people had run the third lane down to 1 and 2, so it's probably not cleaned off. I think it'll be fine once it gets cleaned off, but not many people were up there. I saw it happen. I saw you go up there, and it's like the nose was just pointed to the wall, so I wouldn't really put too much stock into that right now. I got you. All right, I appreciate it. Yeah, man.
Said that he was getting all the way out of the gas into 3 and 4 and actually dragging some brake, where I was not doing that. I was trying to roll like at least 50% throttle. So I hate to change what I'm doing, and I'm not saying I am, but that gives me reassurance that it's not just our car.
Yeah, it's in 4, and he made a mock run was not particularly good. Like, we're still 2 tenths faster than him in our first lap. So, yeah, I mean, do it. I think you're just going to have to stick with what you got because that's what you've been doing.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to do, and fingers crossed there, brother.
I mean, bud, you got what you got. We painted ourselves into this box, and that's where we're at. So, you run her what you got, try to bring it home, and if we make the race, we make the race.
I hate this. I really do.
Welcome back to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Practice just concluding here for us in the O'Reilly Series. We're taking a look at some of the lap times and the trends we're seeing. So if you look down at the bottom left, this is Jeremy Clements, who went out early, went P1 on the board at the top. That blue line up there is Larson, who waited 20 or so minutes to go out. See, they don't have as fast a lap early, but then we watch as these trends continue. You see Clements goes up and up and up, but for Larson, that blue line, it starts to get almost linear in some respects. That's what you want to see as you get later in the run, keeping a consistent line as the tires start to fall off. But Jesse Love in that white line, look at this. This is beautiful. There's those little whatever, but definitely Danny Stockman looks at that and says, we got something for them late in the run.
Well, and as you look at that, as it gets to the top and it levels
somewhere the last time you were on
those lap times to sustain like he did, 2-car looks good.
Kim?
We're going to talk to pit spotter driver extraordinaire Myatt Snyder before he rolls off for qualifying. What's the expectation here for your fast lap?
I don't know. We fought a lot of tightness in practice, but this rolling smoke Ashhurst Tunney Chevy Camaro is I think we can get something out of it. So we'll see what happens, and afterwards I think I'm gonna get me a nice treetop apple juice to finish off this whole practice qualifying session.
All right, you heard it from Myatt himself. Remember, we saw him kind of moonlight as a driver in the Cup Series a couple of weeks ago, taking the seat in place of Alex Bowman after Alex was suffering symptoms from vertigo. And really, this was a dream. Myatt has wanted to make his Cup debut for years and years and years, and finally got to do it. Because
he could forever say he was a Hendrick Motorsports driver, even for half a race like that. That's a pretty cool mark. Great to always have your helmet on hand if you want to have that opportunity when it presents itself.
Getting ready to roll. Qualifying coming up in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series from Las Vegas.
Super late anyway, but like Joey was the 20th car to go out, so yeah, I feel better about it here. Up.
Gotta say, Nathan.
I will when I get down here, but no, that's pending. I can get it all.
Right here. Leave a spot for the 9.
Co-swing for NASCAR. Practice and qualifying for Cup teams comes your way 2:30 Eastern Time. NASCAR on Prime. 5 o'clock Eastern on CW. NASCAR Countdown Live. It's round 5 for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. And the Cup race tomorrow on FS1 at 4 o'clock Eastern. Qualifying coming up for these O'Reilly teams. 41 cars here. 3 go home. And who's on the pole? Find out next. We're live in Sin City.
Yeah, I'm up here. Yeah, we tighten them up a little bit here. Oh, pretty good bit. Find out, right? It's that time.
As long as you just get back up and able to get your angle right for one, obviously definitely doing it. Coming to the checkered, I'll let you know what the first few do. If you're free enough and you can get down there, that's fine. I wouldn't make it a big deal taking greens. Biggest deal is taking checkers.
Isn't qualifying.
It's race day in Sin City.
The tables.
You know it, pal. 3, 2, 1. Green flag, green flag.
Off we go in Sin City.
A lot of speed here, a fun mile-and-a-half race.
We got it.
Help him, I'll push.
Yeah, I don't have the actual,
What a race.
Y'all brought a freaking rocket ship.
It's showtime in Vegas. If that doesn't get you ready for what's going to come your way later this afternoon, I don't know what does. First mile-and-a-half race of the year. Qualifying gets us rolling now. First car out, 35 of Chad Fincham from Knoxville, Tennessee. One start this year, 17th at Atlanta.
And what will get you hyped is that when you go off in this corner and qualifying with a big run through 3 and 4, 195 miles per hour down into turn 1, and how brave are you in terms of holding that throttle in 1 and 2, and the same in 3 and 4 when the track is losing grip on the exit, the right rear is sliding out. As this car right here, Chad's gone way wide. You don't quite want to do that, use a lot of racetrack. This place is one of the last great qualifying laps in NASCAR in terms of just absolutely holding on.
31-16 for Fincham to get us going.
And Cole Custer is in the SS Greenlight Zero car this weekend. First start in this series in over a year. So how are you getting back adjusted to it?
Man, fired off. Definitely felt like a fish out of water. Just, you know, a lot of differences from the next-gen car and the Cup car to this. So, but I think by the end we were in the ballpark. So hopefully get this Cisco Chevy up front. Felt like we have a pretty good car in the long run. Just have to, it's going to be different for the race. It's going to be a lot of hotter, so we have to hit that right.
All right, Cole's an early qualifier. He's going to jump aboard this car. Quick story, too, about the hauler that transported this car. This is the very first hauler that Joe Custer, Cole's dad, ever bought for a stock car when he was kind of getting the Haas factory team organization started way back in 1996. And Joe was telling us this story earlier today about Cole as a kid and how he used to play on that hauler. He took a big fall through the manhole from the second level down to the floor that kind of scared everybody to death. But since then, that hauler has been in service 30 years. The Custers have moved to North Carolina, and it's back in service this weekend for Cole. So kind of a cool full circle moment that shows how the organization has grown, and also kudos to whoever built that trailer that it's still going up and down the road all these years later.
Well, we go to Darlington next Saturday. It's like throwback early for this race team, right? But with the hauler and instead of the car.
It's a cool story.
Josh Williams goes to the top of the board, 30-50. That's big for him in the 92 because they missed the show the last couple of weeks. Here's Ryan Ellis. He's second, a 30-82. And we remind everyone, 41 cars here. 38 make the field, so 3 go home. 32 get in on speed, so if you beat 9 in the qualifying session, you know you'll race later today. Kim talked to him. Here he is on track. Myatt Snyder in the 30.
Myatt ran a 31:20 in practice earlier today.
Go down to the racetrack when you leave.
He's able to wrap that line. Car looks pretty comfortable and almost looks a little bit tight.
I ran 3 and 4.
Tracker shows here. Down into turn 3. Rolling barely out of the throttle. Oh, they got loose right there. Washed up the racetrack a little bit. That's going to kill all of his momentum. Going to the start-finish line. 30-97, so a little bit of a pickup right there for Myatt. I'm sure that felt good inside of the car. You mentioned Josh Williams, though. He picked up 2/10. That's a big pickup from what we've seen from these first few cars that have went out so far. So good lap for him. This will be a good test right here of where the track is.
Carson Quapple down into 1.
Gosh, he's low.
Yeah, he got right to it, got the car rotated. You can see the tracker headed in the right direction. Then it comes down to 3 and 4. You saw what happened for Myatt. It's such a balance. How much entry speed do you throw in where you can get the car rotated, then get immediately back to that throttle? to full throttle. This looks really good here. Of course, Quapple really stable.
Going to be a huge pickup over what he ran in practice to the top. 30.02 for Quapple, who was 30.55 in practice, Kim.
And Patrick Starpoli making his first Las Vegas start. So what did you learn during the practice session?
I learned how quick the track can change. I mean, I'm surprised the sun came out, the groove opened up a bunch, so people were working white line all the way up to the wall. So a lot of creativity goes into your lap here. I think we'll be bottom here in qualifying, but I'm excited to go out there and fire off.
Good luck.
Thank you.
And Parker was talking to crew chief Patrick Donahue earlier, and he said they've been loose every race this season, so they've actually reverted back kind of to what you liked in your race car, made that car a little bit tighter this weekend for the Dapter.
Well, we'll see if it works for them. Hopefully, we had a good finisher back in 24. Lars Scott finishing his lap. It's a good lap.
Yeah, nice pickup. He ran basically in practice what Quapple ran. And he goes a little quicker here, a 30.41 to put him second. By the way, go ahead, Jamie.
Well, just for reference, you know, the pole here last year in this race when it was nice and cool out was 29.43. It was all the way to 30.15 when it heated up. So I think that lap of Carson's isn't going to be significant. I mean, he might be at a 29.80, but I think that's a pretty good lap for having to go out early. We know that's a detriment for these guys.
Well, and I was just going to reference the fact that Dawson Cram is not going to make a qualifying effort, had the engine issues in practice, so you actually just have to beat 8 on speed with him not taking a lap if you're going to race later today. Mason Maggio coming back to the line in the 91. Not bad, 5th for him, 30.85.
For those teams that really have to make it, this is a race you absolutely don't want to have to miss. Going all the way out to the West Coast and missing a race would be tough. We look back at last year here for William Swalwich. Jim Burton gets to the middle, packs that air in the left rear, gets him loose into the wall. Not the way you want to start a day, but that's something that can happen, especially these mile and a half. So the aero effects and the way these cars can get air packed to the rear, it can just absolutely take away the grip from you at a moment's notice.
And when it happens, opening lap of the race, mid just crushes you because you just don't get any experience at all. But a good qualifying run going here. He was in
a little deeper and then was able to wrap better.
They're all going around. Give it some time.
The red will turn 4, a lot of green to the top. William Swalwich, 29.90.
Copy. P3, 30.06.
Be able to just have a shallower exit.
Yeah, if I would have known, I would have stuck that better. I probably could have driven it harder.
Nick Sanchez.
10-4, so stuck pretty good there.
Yeah, I underdrove it. I wanted to.
Has had that top 5 run earlier this season at Atlanta. Qualified top 5 here in the fall. Had a speeding penalty, but drove back through for a 5th place finish. Then driving the 48 for Big Machine. Now driving the 25 for AM Racing. And he goes to 3rd. What's going on, Dylan?
Catching up with Chase Briscoe down here, who's in the 19 this weekend for Joe Gibbs Racing. You're another one that hasn't been in these cars in a little while. So how are you adjusting to getting back to the feel of these O'Reilly cars?
Definitely feels different. You know, last year I came back and ran Charlotte after, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, and it was like I felt like a fish out of water. So yeah, excited to be back. Obviously with you know, Wix flipping on this thing, and I feel a little bit more normal here. You know, just got more grip, so you're not sliding around as much. But yeah, definitely a culture shock after driving the Cup cars. They just drive so vastly different now. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun today, though. We're going to be up on the wall and moving around, so it's always fun to drive these things on a hot, slick day. So looking forward to it.
They get a lot of laps. Cup cars are getting ready to practice and qualify after we're done here on the CW.
Nathan Bird back in the 42 this week. The 2nd straight week he's driving for Youngs. Jumps right in front of his teammate. Ellis is 7th. Bird goes 6th. And
take a look at this.
Yeah, he's flirting with it.
Oh, we talk about not using on the racetrack. That is all that ends some. Couldn't even fit a piece of paper between that and the wall.
10 cars have made a run in qualifying. Here is the 11th.
Had a moment like it turned in.
The new dad, Josh Balicki, had some great pictures that he posted this week with his new son back at home in Wisconsin.
If you're curious, Adam, I looked it up. Cowboy Pillows are not necessarily pillows. It's a clothing brand.
There you go.
So, for all those wondering.
We all were, and we know you were curious enough to look. Balicki is 10th. Harrison Burton, just outside the top 20 in practice, coming off his best run of the season when he was 23rd in Phoenix, but 30th in the points. A lot of ground to make up, and hoping he can rekindle that mile-and-a-half magic that he had in 2020 when he was driving for Joe Gibbs Racing. And as he comes off of turn 2, look at this, plenty of green for driver 24.
It all comes down here to 3 and 4. We saw this from Nick Sanchez being really good down into 3, but can he hook and get back to the throttle? It's starting to go the wrong way, Jamie.
Yeah, he had an exceptional 1 and 2 big arc, was able to get to the bottom, but just not able to hold it. Almost hit the apron a little too much, maybe on entry. It pushed him up off the racetrack. He'd like to have that lap over again, no doubt.
30-11 puts Harrison Burton 4th right now, Kim.
And Las Vegas has been a great place for Ryan Sieg. We're close to a win a couple years ago here. So after practice, how happy were you with your race car?
There at the end, I thought we were right where we needed to be. So beginning, I was like, oh, it's not going to be a good day. And then we got it dialed in at the end. So I think we'll where we need to be. So I'm pretty pumped. Just have a fast Psyop Chevrolet and get to the race and see what we got. Just got to figure out our qualifying, you know what I mean? I think I struggle just a little bit with qualifying, and I've worked on it, so hopefully it shows on track.
If Sieg gets his first career win in Vegas, he's capable of it, we know that. Boy, what kind of party would it be with that group here, you know? Custer wraps his qualifying effort. Second driver to go south of 30 seconds, 29.99, driving the 0 for SS Greenlight Racing. Got them their only victory in the history of the organization, 2022 at California. We heard from Ryan Sieg. Here's younger brother Kyle out in qualifying, 13th car, making the 15th car on track.
Yeah, the one thing that I've noticed, guys, as you watch all these laps, how good William Swalch was in turns 3 and 4. We've seen multiple guys get close, but that middle and exit of 3 and 4, the 18 just had an epic lap right there. It's going to be a tough one to beat.
6 for Kyle Sieg, 30-34. You know, he ran really well here last spring. He was 11th, and that's his best finish at a non-drafting track. Dean Thompson out for his run. Harrison Burton, his teammate, currently 5th, ran a 30-11. Let's see what Dean can do. They were pretty close to one another in practice.
Remember, his teammate was so good through 1 and 2.
Yep.
Not quite the same level through 1 and 2, but not far off. But as Jamie referenced, what William Swalch did down in 3 and 4 was mightily impressive. The way that car hooked right there on that white line and just got rotated. Seems to just start slipping away for most of these drivers off of 4 if they don't absolutely nail it there in 3 and 4.
Right behind his teammate, a 30-11 for Harrison Burton, a 30-16 for Dean Thompson, and he is 6th.
You know, the wind is typically always a factor when you come to Las Vegas, and that's one of the things that drivers will blame it on getting into turn 3 because it normally blows from turn 2 down to turn 3, but you're looking at the flag. No wind today. It's pretty calm outside.
Yeah, and it can have such a big effect that, like, if you have that headwind into 1, it can make it flat out when it's not normally because you just have such a headwind and downforce treated through that. And then to your point, 3 and 4, or turn 3 becomes really sketchy with that.
How much throttle you can keep. And some of the guys that aren't cutting the track are losing a little bit of distance into 1. Just good arcs both ends, wrapping nice. 4.
Joe Gibbs' car is getting ready to qualify here. What will be the toughest part on your lap of matching the speed your teammates got?
Honestly, that's a good question, Dylan. I felt pretty good. I felt like we were a little stuck and needed to work around a little bit, but really proud of everyone at Joe Gibbs Racing and Jason Ratcliffe for bringing a really fast Operation 3 GR Supra. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's just this place is throttled down in qualifying, so it's kind of my place to qualify. I'm a throttle down guy, so I don't know. We'll see.
Thanks, Taylor.
Hear from Taylor Gray and check in on Chandler Smith, who's never finished outside the top 5 at Las Vegas in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Has a Truck Series win here, and for the 2nd straight week, driving that 5-car for Hedinger. Didn't do bad last weekend at Phoenix, 7th in qualifying.
Had some speed there last week for a new team that's trying to, get their footing here in the O'Reilly Series. Great to have an experienced driver like Chandler Smith behind the wheel as they try to improve their speed.
This is like the truck segment. Chandler Smith won at Daytona, leads the Truck Series standings, followed by Daniel Dye, full-time for Team Colleague. 19th to take speed here in qualifying in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series.
Oh, and Daniel's car looks smooth. He just kind of missed the bottom of both ends. Maybe balance being just a little bit too tight, but not a terrible lap right there at 30.20.
Yeah, the truck guys right there together, 7th and 8th, Dye and Chandler Smith, Kim.
And Anthony Alfredo coming off a 10th place finish last weekend at Phoenix. And last weekend you told me the expectation was a top 15. The goal was a top 10. So let's look at Vegas. What's the expectation for this team? And then what's the goal?
Yeah, absolutely. Great run last weekend, as you mentioned, Kim. And I think that was a confidence booster for our whole team. We've had the pace this year to do that, but we haven't really executed a whole race. And we've got a couple mechanical failures. So to go do that and execute very well start to finish was exactly the momentum we needed coming into this race. And I think this dude wiped Chevys just about as fast as last week. So looking forward to seeing what we can do in qualifying, but honestly, I'm more excited about the race and our long run speed we had in practice. So just thankful for Viking Motorsports. Everyone's been working really hard to get this deal going. This is a new team this year for this 96 group, and it came together pretty late, but I feel like the progress we're showing has a lot of upside, so I'm looking forward to that.
Better than the 18,
So much optimism for him to be back with Josh Graham as crew chief a couple of years ago at Our Motorsports when they enjoyed so much success. Joey Gase finished his qualifying lap. He is 15th in the 55, coming off a really nice effort last Saturday in Phoenix. Went into the wall, Patrick Starpoli.
I noticed he entered pretty low, and the car was starting to take it off up
at the wall up a 2.
He's still in it though, guys.
Yeah,
he hasn't lifted yet.
It was going to be
about 4/10 up off turn 2.
Yeah. I mean, this is unbelievable. Look at that. He was in the green when he hit the wall. Stay in it, come back to 5th.
P5. You would have probably been P1 if we hadn't touched the wall. Great job, though. Yeah.
P1 by 1.5 seconds, I think. Yeah.
I mean, he was up a 10.5 off of turn 2 right there. Just stayed committed. But the way this track is, you can feel that because you can almost see the banking there. And then as you get to 2, that banking suddenly falls away. And he probably hasn't felt that yet. Felt like, hey, this is going to work out. And suddenly he lost the front of that race car to the wall. But great lap.
I thought the tracker was broken. I'm like, well, the tracker is clearly broken. Yeah.
He stayed committed. Brave.
I love it. Look at Brennan Poole. Also got a good lap going here.
Yes, he does. LeVar Scott, his teammate, is 11th, and he'll drop to 12th as Poole jumps up to 8th, 30-20 for him.
You have to think we've hit that point that the track's starting to get the rubber picked up and cleared off. Just looking at all the lap times starting to get better and better and better as we run here.
You know, I look at Austin Green, who's running full-time for the first time in his career, and he's really done a pretty good job at some tracks that he had never been to before. The one place he didn't take advantage because of a mechanical failure was COTA. Felt like that place would be good to him. Great in practice here at Las Vegas, and look at that tracker, some green for this driver from Concord, North Carolina. His dad is a series champion. His Uncle Jeff won the first ever race here. Oh, he lost it off of 4, but still a really good lap, puts him 4th.
Just missed the bottom in 3 and 4 there. You saw it. He was great on the tracker, but then just didn't quite get to the bottom, didn't get the rotation, and there from the middle of 3 and 4 to the exit, lost all that time as he got to the start-finish line. Still a great lap.
Briscoe getting a massive run come to the green. You saw him run high through turns 3 and 4. Going to get back down to the bottom here in 1 and 2. Oh, he missed the bottom. Kind of committed to that top now. I imagine that's going to be what he wanted to do right there. Had a couple of big moments.
Still worked for him.
His teammate leading right now, William Sawalich at the top.
Oh, it's so loose for him though. Just can't pull on the wheel the way that he wants to.
7th for Briscoe.
Yeah, there was a lot going on in 1 and 2. I can't wait. Love to hear him break that down of everything that happened in about 4 seconds for him.
4 Toyotas in the top 10 right now. I want you to look at second on the bumper, and that's Cole Custer in the 0. Got the HFT Alliance. Here's Ryan Sieg, another driver that fits into that group.
Gosh, he did a great job of getting to the bottom, carrying all that momentum on the exit.
That was beautiful.
Yep, keeping it all the way down the backstretch. We've seen 3 and 4 be where the 18 of Swatch has been so good, but good entry speed right here for Sieg. Oh, gave up a little. Oh, he lost these.
It was close. 5th for Ryan Sieg, 30.065.
Not really.
From one veteran driver to another, Jeremy Clements out to make his qualifying run, and today will make his 535th start. That'll move him to a tie for second all-time with Jeff Green, who won the first ever race here in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series at Las Vegas, 1997. Won the championship a few years later. Clements going to match him today, and he will eclipse Kenny Wallace for the most starts all time. You see the list here when we go to San Diego in the summer Father's Day weekend.
Look at this lap.
I mean, great in practice and absolutely blistering them in qualifying. P1, Jeremy Clements, 29.79. How about it?
And then normal line 3 and 4.
Beautiful. There wasn't a lot of remarks. It just looked really stable. The same reason he had that speed in practice.
Jamie, I was waiting for the radio. Usually the crew chief loses his mind.
Yeah, we got nothing right there for me. Normally you get a little bit of a response, but the track is definitely transitioned here, guys. You look at Brandon Jones right here, 2 tenths up, getting into turn 3. Tracker's heading the right way still, gaining.
I did
give a little bit right there, but wow, good lap here for Brandon Jones.
I didn't give myself room to grow. I celebrated Clements, and Jones one-ups him, 29.64 for Atlanta's own.
And I think
Jeremy didn't even get back to the pits. He saw the pylon. He saw the pylon change in the middle of 3 and 4.
Well, to your point, I think this is going to be the trend here as we go further in this qualifying session. The reason this happens, you lay all that rubber over a 50-minute practice. The first half of the field picks up that rubber as we run along, especially considering everyone's running the bottom on both sides. And as you get later in this session, the track is cleaner. These drivers just have more grip.
Good exit of turn 2 right here for Gray. See what he can do in turns 3 and 4. Tracking the wrong way, but again, a good exit. Gave up a little bit on entry on both of them, but it's going to be really close here.
Pole last week, second right now in qualifying at Las Vegas for Taylor Gray. Right behind his teammate, 29.68. Missed it by 400ths. Last Saturday at Phoenix, Anthony Alfredo qualified 4th. Optimistic about what he has in the race later today. It's what he said earlier in the interview.
Oh, he missed the bottom right there. You saw that car go through the bumps, slid up the racetrack, and look at the time lost through there. 4 or 5 tenths just through turns 1 and 2, hitting those bumps wrong and sliding up the track. Now it's all about just kind of salvaging this lap together. He's going to be super disappointed with this. Oh, it's so frustrating thinking you have a good car and hit those bumps wrong, the balance be off.
Alfredo is 19th, Kim.
All right, down here just catching up with Justin Allgaier, our most recent winner in the series and the winner of this race last year. So we know you always have race-winning speed when it comes to Las Vegas. What about pole-winning speed? What can this car do? What's it going to take?
I don't know. You know, Jerry Logistics Chevrolet is really good. Probably a little bit on the tight side, like everybody seems to be fighting at the moment. So, you know, we're going to see what happens. But, you know, I think for us, you know, the conditions right now are significantly different than what this afternoon's race is going to be, and we've kind of set ourselves up for that. So we're really proud of Andrew Overstreet, this whole 7 team, everybody at Junior Motorsports, obviously the Hendrick Engine Shop, everybody at Chevrolet, Hendrick Chassis Shop, just all of our partners. You know, it's fun to come to the racetrack and have 5 Junior Motorsports Camaros and know that you got a shot at not only a win, but, you know, a solid finish for all of us. So we're going to see what happens, and hopefully we don't qualify too terrible.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Busy weekend for Justin. He'll step in the Cup car for Alex Bowman, so playing double duty this weekend at Vegas.
Yeah, it's a great point, and thanks for bringing that up, Kim, and our well wishes to Alex as he continues to recover, and hope to see him back at the track soon. So one Chevy has been out for Junior Motorsports as we visit with Justin Allgaier. Carson Kvapil finds himself in the 7th position in the 9. Here's the 88 of Kyle Larson. By the way, got to pay off Parker Retzloff. Great effort for him in the 99 for Viking. He's 4th and may drop to 5th. A lot of green here for Larson through 3 and 4.
Huge arc into turn 3 and then was able to pull it to the bottom. And look at the exit that it gives him. Larson with a super fast lap right here. Wow. 29.52. It's only a 10th off the pole here 1 year ago. I think it's going to be close right there. Junior Motorsports obviously has found the speed that they were lacking in practice.
I just love how he was skeptical when he talked to us before qualifying about what would happen in qualifying. That's why it's Kyle Larson straight to P1.
Hey, we're in Vegas. I would not want to play poker with Larson. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he never shows his hand. Here's Austin Hill. The car drove so well in practice, he literally could have dialed 1-800-PACK-RAT, you know? But he got his hands right full now. Keep your hands on the wheel. Might come up a little short what he was hoping for. No, not bad. 6th, 29.90 for Austin Hill. One here in the spring of 2023.
At 29, we're at this turn 4. His left side just hit the top hash. So he's strapped.
Had Larson out there who leads. Now Corey Day.
Well, Corey's going to have a good reference there of what the track has in it. You know, the car's similar setup between the 17 and the 88. This has been a good track for Corey. You know, that tracker right there gave up a little bit. Maybe couldn't get back to the throttle in the middle of 1 and 2 and lost some of that speed down the backstretch.
The track off like you normally would, but he just didn't do it.
Somewhere Owen Larson is saying, "Come on, man!
Which T-shirt is he wearing?"
Corey. If he's smart, he's got the Day sweatshirt. He's got the Larson T-shirt. You know what I mean? He can manage both sides. Day goes 5th. 8 cars remain, and everybody chasing Kyle Larson. And here comes 27 Jeb Burton, fresh off his best run of 2026, 7th last Saturday night at Phoenix, got stage points. And if the chase began today, it doesn't, but he would have a chase position. Comes in 12th in the standings, does Jeb Burton.
And not just a good finish last weekend, he had just a great weekend. Qualifying, practice, stage points, everything. The 2017 put it together, so it was a great run for them last weekend. Oh, that thing is nervous getting to 3.
He pays on the exit there. Just lost a ton of time. Gave up, what, 2.5 tenths, 3 tenths almost just from the exit of 4 right there for that nervousness that you mentioned on entry. It's like you put a deposit in and you're hoping for a return on the exit, and sometimes if you don't get to the bottom, you don't get it.
Back-to-back Chevys for Jordan Anderson Racing. Jeb Burton 9th. Here's Raja Caruth. 2nd of 3 consecutive starts in the 32 before he goes back to the 88. Overall 10 starts in this 32 for the young driver from Washington, D.C.
Well, his commitment was a 10 out of 10 on entry. You saw him gain a little time on the 88 of Kyle Larson, then through 1 and 2. Again, big commitment on entry, not quite able to hold it off. On exit, going to lose a little here, but still a decent lap for Raja.
Best for Jordan Anderson Racing, 4th overall. And remember the RCR alliance here as you look at some of these drivers up there inside the top 10, Retzloff and Caruth. Jesse Love still to come in the 2, was good in practice. And here's Sam Mayer. You know, this team just needs to put a good weekend together. It seems no matter what the situation, they have speed in the car, they always have something that creates a hiccup. They've overcome it. They put themselves in position for success. And, well, pretty good lap going here as he comes to turn 3.
Oh, yeah, and as he gets down to the 3, gets to the white line. It's all about the rotation, stays lower. It's coming back the right way on the tracker.
Look at this. Larson P1 right now, but not for long. Drops to P2. 29.46 for Mayer, who won a pole earlier this season at Atlanta.
That one in my bone!
Sam.
Yeah, a lot of talk about Sam Mayer in practice. I heard a lot of teams saying they thought he had one of the best cars in the long run, and it shows here that they have a short run car as well.
Still 3 Chevys from Junior Motorsports to come. First of those, Sammy Smith, who's got a little dance going.
Sammy's filling in his phones too.
Gained quite a bit on him. Almost
Good lap right here for the 8 car. Had a great exit of turn 2. Ooh, he's fighting that thing on the exit though.
A lot of racetrack there off of 4.
He's third, right behind Larson.
I'm starting to get tight, so I just lifted. Yeah, you're
4 to go.
like your throttle.
Creed, Zilich, Love, and Allgaier.
Back to throttle as his.
Creed was so close to his teammate, the amount of cars they wouldn't have had a chance to make an adjustment from anything maybe Sam had said, but all Sam said was he felt it in his bones, so I don't know if that would have helped him any bit.
Yeah. Not a big dialogue there to go off of. Good lap though, look at that, right there on pace. Actually gaining a little bit down the backstretch. It's going to be all about turns 3 and 4. Big commitment on entry. Can he hold it though? He's missed the bottom.
There.
No!
The move from Ford to Chevy has been good for the Haas factory team. Mayer leading the way in qualifying. Creed goes to 3rd.
I think that was a classic case of Sheldon was more committed than his car was in turns 3 and 4.
Shot up in the middle.
Connor Zilich, runner up here last fall. Back in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, where he won 10 times, setting the rookie record in 2025.
Big commitment
Way
right
higher.
there. Big commitment.
And it went away, lifted there, to not do what Starpoli did earlier. Once the car takes off like that off of 2, you just can't really get it back. It means you're just falling on the right front. The track falls away from you, and you've only got one choice, which is the lift.
Now the sun has come out, so gotta think that if you're one of these guys right here at the end, you want to hope a cloud will come back in and cover it up. It makes a big effect here at Vegas.
Zilich is 15th. Here's his best buddy, Jesse Love, reigning champ. And you see his reaction this week and what it's like, an opportunity to go out and beat some of the best in the business.
Go to battle.
Oh, yeah.
Was that movie 300? Is that from?
There you go. And look at this. I mean, we referenced the Alliance cars and Jesse Love backing it up for RCR.
Well, Parker, you referenced it.
Where are we going here?
Really good in the long run.
And just slipped away from him. Look at Mayer. He's already celebrating.
He never got that car to turn down. Went for the arc, Jamie, and it just got away from it. Started with the right rear, almost like it was loose on entry. Could never get it back down the bottom.
Such a good 1 and 2. Yeah, such a good 1 and 2, and just overcommitted, right? You have that good corner through 1 and 2, and you're just like, I got it.
Love is 7th. Here's the last car with Mayer leading. Justin Allgaier won this race last spring, won last Saturday at Phoenix, and I will tell you, qualifying for this guy doesn't matter because he started 17th at Phoenix, finished top 5 in both stages, won the race, overcame a pit road issue. He's not going to have what it takes to get the pole here today. It's going to be a 2nd pole this year for Sam Mayer. We'll see where Allgaier slots in as he comes back in the 7. The man that won the title a couple of years ago will start 9th today on the pole, Sam Mayer. Career pole number 6 and number 2 in 2026, Kim.
Good job.
Yeah, Sam Mayer, P1, we heard the excitement on the radio. You said you felt it in your bones. What were you feeling from the car to know it was such a good lap?
Yeah, huge shout out to the Alliance cars. Like, having that in our corner is really good for us because we can kind of put our nose together and work together really well. So it helped us out. Having Cole in the field helped a lot too. Just kind of knowing what the track has, what each kind of car is fighting or not fighting. So yeah, I mean, the Autobell Chevy, obviously really fast. Huge shout out to everyone at the Hendrick Engine Shop. They're on a heater. What can I say? This is a really good organization to be a part of. So yeah, this Haas factory car is really fast. So really looking forward to seeing what we can do in the race. Last time we got the pole, it was very short-lived, but we fought back for a good day. The car was fast in the race too there. So hopefully it can be fast again.
We want to take a look back at your launch to start that qualifying lap. Maybe any concern you might have used up the tires. It was like a drag race off pit road for you.
I didn't know I smoked it that bad. A couple of the Alliance cars were talking about just being a little snug, so I wanted to make sure I get enough heat in the rears that they would work. And we kind of struggled a little bit